Okay, explain why Hillary's message is progressive, what you're saying?
Sure.
Explain why you're doing it.
Hopefully you can see this.
Talk a little louder.
Alright. Okay, let's begin. This is a political spectrum. This is the left. This is the right. Can you see those words?
Mm-hmm.
And this is moderate. So on the right you have anarchy. Over here you have monarchy. Anarchy, we're taught that this is violence. Molotov cocktails, cars turned over, right? Fires, violence, right? That's what we're taught this word means. But the only time it shows up like that is in resistance to this. Tyranny. So anytime there's been a revolution like the American Revolution, it's because the monarchy was infringing on the anarchy. All nature lives in anarchy. No archy. No king, right? No president. So that's what anarchy means, is no. No archy. This is monarchy, which means one archy. Now, if you come off of this line here, monarchy, a little bit, you've got what's called oligarchy. That means a few people rule everything. Over here, when you come like this is the original American Constitution. Is right here. It's just a one notch off of anarchy. And the reason it's one notch off of anarchy is because the people in consciousness and awareness with full knowledge got together and created a form of government that protected the anarchy. So I gave up a little bit of my rights because I don't want to sit on my porch with a shotgun 24 hours a day. So we gave a little authority to the sheriff. Mm-hmm. And that's why he's elected by the people. Mm-hmm. Nowadays they're kind of bureaucrats, but their history is they are elected by the people because they're there to protect the people. So that's the Constitution. This is the Founding Fathers. This is the King of England as a monarch. So ever since we had this form of government where everybody was free and independent and sovereign on the land, owning land, not warranty deeds, but actual land patents, true hereditable title, the king and the pope started to figure out this really doesn't work for us, having all these free independent people. That's the Treaty of Verona, 1845, said that this experiment is not conducive for papal supremacy or the divine right of kings to rule. Mm-hmm. So they created a treaty to go ahead and attack this and undermine this so that it could not succeed and threaten this. So these are the bloodline families that hoard all the wealth and power in the various countries and around the world. So once we had this country, edit that out. Once we had this country and it was succeeding, and they decided that they didn't want it to succeed to its full potential, they came in here and they started doing things and started messing and interfering with this position and intercepting it. And that led to a civil war. And once the Civil War was over, there was a second American Constitution. And most people don't know that, but look up the District of Columbia Act of 1871, or Second American Constitution, and that is a corporate charter. It converted our federal government from a trading company into a corporation.
Mm-hmm.
And then they created two political parties. One was the Democrats, one was the Republicans. And their job was to split the people, create different ideologies, and over generations, this one would move a little bit forward towards the left. Then people would be angry about this movement, so then they would vote this guy, and this guy would make everybody think that this guy was wrong and this is the right one. But they would also move a little bit forward of where this guy was, and then these people would get upset, and so you have a pendulum kind of swinging back and forth, but across generations they keep moving to the left. So
back to the left from when the time the Constitution was written and that the war happened.
Yep. And they incorporated, they started creating political parties that were there to divide the people and to confuse them over meaningless issues. Not meaningless, but not as meaningful as freedom.
Mm-hmm.
And so while the generations go on, the elections just do this. It looks like you're going back and forth between Republican and Democratic leadership, but it's really an illusion.
So 2 steps forward, 1 step back, 3 steps forward, 2 steps back,
Yes.
3 steps forward, 1 step back.
And now the Democrats are probably right here today, while the Republicans are probably right here. That's why
All the way back to total domination and control.
it's hidden.
Worldwide.
It's hidden, but even common people are waking up and looking around and seeing that, you know, roads are bad, schools are bad, justice is bad, medical, you know, like everything seems to be bad. And the reason for that is that when you're over here, you have these forms of government. You've got fascism, you have socialism, and you have communism. And right here you have what?
Democracy.
Every one of these is strong, central government. Every one of these is corporate, for profit, not for the people, for the bankers, for the oligarchy. So democracy is a mobile platform to move you from true anarchy to true monarchy or oligarchy. That's what democracy is. It's a mobile platform. It's temporary between freedom and subjugation, to be subject to a monarch or an oligarchy.
And most people aren't even aware of any of this.
Right. This is an American republic. Ever say the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the
Republic.
Right, it doesn't say
Democracy.
correct, but when you turn on the TV, what do they say?
Republic.
You ever heard Obama talk about the Republic?
No?
What does he talk about?
The democracy?
Because he is part of an
Oligarchy.
yes. So why is Hillary Clinton's message progressive? Is because she is a Democrat, and the Democratic Party has traversed all of this area across the spectrum and is resting on oligarchy. That's progressive. We are progressing, and people think they like this because they get privileges and benefits. Right?
Mm-hmm.
But a privilege and a benefit does not equal a right.
Wow.
Privileges and benefits can be regulated and modified and revoked. A right is given by God. Anarchy is a gift from God. It's a right for the living, breathing man.
God.
When I say God, I'm not talking about the bearded man in the sky from organized religion. I'm talking about life
Yeah.
itself. Life. So if you don't have faith in life, you'll need an insurance policy. You'll need Social Security, which is a contract to be subject to an oligarchy.
Wow.
Driver's license is a contract to be subject to an oligarchy. A marriage license is a contract to be a subject to an oligarchy.
So it's a matrix.
A bank account in an all caps name is a contract to be a subject of an oligarchy.
So write John Smith in all capital letters. I can explain that real quick. It's all capital letters. And that'll be enough food for thought. The difference. What's on your driver's license is in all capital letters, and that's not you, you're saying, right?
Correct. This is a government entity. They created this to fool you into a different jurisdiction. Over here they call this the land jurisdiction. Jurisdiction of the land. The Constitution is the supreme law of the land. A lot of us have heard that phrase, the supreme law of the land. So this is a land jurisdiction. Deals with land. This is the law of the sea. It's maritime admiralty. It's international commercial law. Therefore, it has nothing to do with the land. It has to do with property, which is a legal term. So when you're buying property from a real estate agent, you are not buying land. You're buying property. It's a legal term and has all kinds of legal structures built around it that they could never access. They can't take your land from you. Over here they can take it because you missed a payment.
Yes.
That's
you
illegal.
Missed a payment.
Yes.
And what does this mean here?
These are trade names because there's capital letters. Capital means finance, means commercial. This is John Henry Doe's proper name. John, all lowercase. Hyphen to his middle name with a full colon, and then Doe. This is proper grammar. So this is for John Henry of the family Doe. That's what this means.
Ah, okay.
This is like an adverb, verb, adjective.
Yeah.
It's babble. All legalese is babble. It's babble. All, yep, there's the grammar in it. But
when you are men, grown men and women are running around operating, thinking that that's them, and they're like, you know, like you're reaching through the bars earlier, explaining the cage.
Yeah, they believe this is them, the living, breathing man or woman.
So they're running their whole life investing in this and not even know that they're living in a prison without bars.
This is all maritime admiralty, law of the sea. That means everything is vessels, cargo, and commerce. Yeah. So this is a vessel. It's a commercial entity, like a trust.
But if you say we're all the way over here, I mean, we're like 6 feet from Niagara Falls in a boat with no oars.
That's the New World Order. When we fall over, we're falling into the New World Order, which is one global communism. But it will appear as fascism at first. You want me to speak about these real quick, what the differences are?
Very quickly.
Okay, democracy is mob rules. There's no right. If 51% of us vote that we need your house, we're taking it. It's mob rule. Fascism is the most insincere. The most common fascism we've seen is World War II, Hitler, Germany.
Yes.
Fascism means that the government has the title to your business. They tell you how to run it, where to buy, how much to sell, who to sell to, all that stuff, and then they leave the rest to you. So the company is in your name, it looks like it's yours, but it's really the government is putting all kinds of limits on it. Okay. Socialism is when the government owns the majority of production. So communication, transportation, banking, education, media, right? even religion. We're starting to get 501c3 religious organizations. So that's socialism. Communism is the most honest. They say, hey, we own everything. The hell with you. We own it. You do what we say. So this is where we're heading, is this way.
Ah.
Right now we are
Okay.
we are since the bankruptcy in 1933 we've been fascist.
And that was only right around the block. It seems like.
Yeah, 70, 80 years ago. But we turned fascist because the government had us registering all of our businesses to them, applying, registering. That's giving them all legal title. Socialism is when they start taking over Facebook and they start taking over YouTube and Google, and they have the TVs and they have the buses and they control it all with their rules and regulations.
Control. Technocracy. Okay.
Right, of the means of production for a society.
Okay.
Communism is when they just own everything. So what Americans don't understand is we're probably right here.
Wow.
We're just about to communism, and
oh, it's all happening
globally.
It's a covert takeover.
Yes, that's been going on for hundreds of years. When you want to know what the CIA has been up to, if you want to know what the federal government has been supporting, if you want to know what the IMF and the UN is all about, it's about a highly tuned global socialist structure, probably communist in our lifetime.
Cool.
But the only people this applies to are people that are in contract to them.
And the people that believe it and don't know there's another way.
Correct. So they get trapped here in ignorance, and they work their whole life loading up this vessel
and
for
it's
the
just
government.
one quick tip or word or something, or resource or something before we go here, how someone can get out of all this. I know it's not one quick word, but just say that it's possible. Somehow.
Oh, it's you know, there's at least several million people on the American continent that are over here today. They've reclaimed their nature.
And gotten out of all this.
Yeah, this is totally irrelevant. It's
To
as
them,
if it doesn't exist.
To them and their minds and their beliefs and on...
And what they're liable for, or accountable to. This is self-governance.
So they don't have to play that anymore, that losing game.
Yes, because this is all rigged.
All rigged.
You know the markets are rigged, the dollar's rigged. I mean,
it's all rigged.
I have some clients that pay me in silver.
Okay.
You paid me once in silver. You gave me a silver dollar. It's worth about 20 bucks.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you know when they first created Federal Reserve notes, you could trade one of those silver dollars for one Federal Reserve note?
Yes.
They have rigged the dollar and destroyed it so much that it takes 20 of them now.
Just to
get one silver dollar.
That's how much it's been hyperinflated.
Yeah, so the prices are going up and up and up. That doesn't mean that the prices are up. It means that the dollar value is down.
Gone to...
The silver still buys 20 bucks worth of stuff.
Yes.
Over here is free market capitalism. The market figures out what's useful, what's productive, and what's valuable. And it puts a leverage on people to become more innovative, bring prices down for better products.
Yes.
Over here, this is all monopoly. This is all monopolized. And so the incentive is to create cheaper products for higher prices. It's the opposite. That's why we have junk and crap.
So that's the squeezing out and the separation of...
It's fleecing.
It's fleecing.
The
it's
oligarchy
robbery.
is fleecing.
So it's the top 1% and everybody.
Yes.
That's... Okay, end of video. Thank you very much. Over and out.
That was a